Hi everybody, this video showcases how to build the bootable jar with the JBoss EAP Micro Profile 2.0. Let's get started. So we're going to use existing Thorntail Java application which implements micro profile specification, for example, has check. Let's take a look at the POM XML on Maven project. As you can see, we're going to use the Thorntail RESTful API application, packaging WAR file, and we're going to use the latest version of Thorntail 2.7.2 final. And we already have dependency management to define a BOM. So here's the Thorntail BOM to use micro profile specification, but also the JaxRS and more dependency in our Thorntail application. So for example, the JaxRS already implement here in the micro profile health, which enable us to define the liveness or the readiness to your monitor your application status. So you can also use this capability when you deploy this application to OpenShift container platform. Okay, let's take a look at that actual application here. So here's a greeting endpoint Java file. As you can see, REST endpoint like a greeting and the return produce a JSON format, and then we can define parameter like a name, and the default value is a word, which means you don't have any parameter to call this RESTful API. Just return hello world, just hello world application. And move on, application configure Java file to define your application path, also known as the contextual root when you access the RESTful API. So here is a hashtag Java application define the liveness your application status. It's just call the liveness and then just print out the simple put bar the variable. It's a simple capability to check your application status for liveness. Let's try to run this application using Maven plugin command line, Thorntail :run. It takes a few seconds to start up. As you can see, we're just starting the creating WAR file as artifact application, and Thorntail is ready. Okay, let's try to open new terminal window to access the endpoint 8080/API/greeting, so you can find the hello world as a return JSON format. And let's try to one more to access the endpoint with the parameter, the name, such as the Thorntail API, just for fun. And we got the return JSON result, hello Thorntail API. It's totally working pretty good. And now we just need to access to one of the health checking. We already implement the 8080-health-live. As you can see, we got the right return JSON output about your application health check, specifically liveness. Let's try to migrate this application for bootable jar based on micro profile 2.0. So first of all, we're going to change the version to that 0.0.ga. And then we need to add some properties to build a bootable jar, which is referred to specific version. For example, JBoss EAP version of a BOM, and a micro profile BOM version like a 2.0, and JBoss EAP server version like a 7.34, and also there are wildfly-jar Maven plugin. And one more thing you should be aware to deploy this application to remote OpenShift container platform. We're going to use JCube tool rather than Fabricate, which we used in Thorntail. So based on JQ, we're going to use OpenJDK 11 raised version and container image as a base image when you build the containerized application. Okay, now we don't need to dependency management based on Thorntail as a BOM. So we just comment that part, and then we're going to add the new JBoss EAP Jakar EE with this tool micro profile BOM dependency, because we need to this BOM as dependency. All right, let's try to replace existing Thorntail dependencies are here. So first of all, JaxRS and a micro profile health refer to Thorntail. We don't need to do this any longer. And then we replace a new dependency from micro profile 2.0. The first of all, the CDI API and the JXRS to parse and serialization your JSON format. And here's your health API as well. And also, we don't need to Thorntail build profile and configuration here. Let's try to comment and to add a new profile here. So we just add two profiles. First one, bootable jar, which he used Gallium packages. So Gallium packages trim your application capability and memory buffering inside. So we just use JXRS because this application exposes RESTful API and micro profile. And the other profile is the OpenShift to use same Gallium packaging and also JCube tools. Okay, so stop the existing running Thorntail application. Let's try to packaging the application using a bootable jar profile. It takes a few seconds to end up. So okay, so let's take a look at the target directory. As you can see, there are bootable jar we already have on after Maven packaging command line. So let's try to run this bootable jar application using Java command line. And then it takes a few seconds to start up. And as you can see, admin console is not enabled for the bootable jar. Okay, so open a new terminal and then try to access the same endpoint API greeting and hello world as a JSON format output. And with the parameter name, in this case, we can pass down bootable jar with the XP to .0, and then we get the same result. Okay, so let's try to add one more micro profiles specification and capability. Add a new database connection health check, implement health check. But in this case, we are not going to connect to actual database. Instead, we just use compilation, one of the micro profile capability. Okay, so here is the health check response call and the simulate database connection verification using micro profile compilation. As you can see, config annotation, and in that case we're going to check this readiness rather than liveness. Okay, we need to add a new property file like a micro profile dash config.properties, and the one key and value database.up equal true. We already used that key and value in our application code. Okay, try to rebuild this application running application once again, and just your application running and try to access endpoint. But in this case, so based on JBoss EAP capability, that's why we need to access a 9990 port rather than 8080 port that we did use in Thorntail application. Okay, let's stop the existing bootable jar application and move on to deploying application to OpenShift container platform. This is an empty project. As you can see, there's no resource found here. And make sure to log in from my local machine to run OpenShift container platform using OC command line, and then try to Maven package once again using bootable jar OpenShift profile, but with OC deploy command line. Pretty simple. Packaging once again to bootable jar, and then we're going to use OpenShift Maven plugin to build this application as containerized images. In the meantime, let's try to take a look at that target directory. As you can see, under the classes directory and the meta-inf, you can find the JCube directory is generated with the OpenShift resources file, like a manifest. So there are OpenShift YAML file, which includes all resources to deploy this application to OpenShift container platform, such as service, to communicate between application, and also here the deployment config, how to deploy this application with a container image, and also with some specific port should be exported like HTTP or TCP protocol for monitoring like a permit fields, and also here is a health check we already implement in application side, or also route resources to expose the application to outside. Okay, so go back to OpenShift container dev console, and we try to add at the label because we need to steal more time to build this application. Okay, so we just finished the application deployment, and then admin console is not enabled, just like we saw in local runtime environment and JBoss EAP 734. Try to scroll up, and then you can find here the bootable jar is deployed this application on JBoss EAP profile. To access to RESTful endpoint, we're going to use the web UI here. When you invoke the without parameter, just return hello world JSON format, and then we're going to add some micro profile XP like a 2.0 as a name, and the micro 2.0 is hello. Thanks for watching.